So episode 1 was called Beginnings, and both Chris and myself shared some of our spiritual adventures and ET contact. And we also presented some basic downloads that we had received from our guides. They're both very similar, but Chris's was a little different than mine. And I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of what my download was about. And the message was, watch for what you wish for. What do you spend your time thinking about? We create what we focus our attention on. And the current mess of the world is actually our doing, collectively, not individually. And because our thoughts and our fears are projected outwards. And the good news about that is we also hold the cure. So my guides tell me that our time left on earth is very short. We must act now. We know there's a genocidal agenda that's encapsulating all of us at this present time. And so it's really important to remember that our survival depends on us remembering that it's we the people. So that we need to recognize that we're all in the same boat, regardless of our circumstances, whether we're black or white, rich or poor, famous or ordinary. It's time for unity consciousness. And this will launch and add momentum to the new positive timeline. Chris, do you have anything you want to add to that?
As far as my experience, it had both a very personal and kind of global message that came through, but the overall message that was for everyone is very similar to the one that you had. That there is an imminent threat on our planet, and it's dependent on the collective to make a difference. um, One of the things that was stressed to me, that anyone that feels that there's something wrong and they have something to offer, or anything that they can personally provide from their own talents or ideas, to do it now, because now is the time for the human race to kind of perk up and find the inner powers that have been locked up for so long. um, I think that this kind of era that we're moving into right now is going to be an era of great difficulty, but it's meant to push us through so that we can realize what's going on first, share the information, and then finally stand up and start making changes in our own lives, and then changes outward. But that is the main message. But there is a sense of urgency, because just look around at what's unfolding in front of you every day. It's not getting any better. The information is being suppressed more and more, so it's getting harder to get a larger audience. But the good thing is, enough people have started to wake up before this happened, to where the message is still spreading. We're finding ways around the censorship, but we don't know how long we'll be able to do that. But the important part is, as long as we have this opportunity, now is the time to take action. So that was the main message that I got from myself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, is there any comments or questions from the audience yet?
Let's see. Some welcomes. Breview said she made your oil, Karen, and it turned out great.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful.
yes. And let's
Thank you.
Yeah, and Wendy says thank you for wishing her a happy birthday. But that's all. And yes, if you have any questions or comments, you want to join in the discussion, please feel free to leave anything in the chat, and we will get to you. But that's what we
Mhm.
got so far.
Okay, welcome everybody, and thank you for your kind comments. So I'll move into the recap of episode 2, which was Zen Apocalypse. And the first thing we did was we talked a bit about the hero's journey. When we step out on anything that is alternative to the mainstream narrative, we have some particular challenges. And we also end up with some amazing experiences, and we find helpers along the way. And it's interesting how when we embark on our journeys, our spiritual journeys, we go through a very similar process. And this process has been happening to people for thousands of years. It's really interesting that it's the same process regardless of our journey. And then we moved into how to have a Zen apocalypse. So with all the stuff that's going on today, these are very trying times, but there are things that you can do to make yourself feel a lot better and to be in it for the long haul and to be able to actually thrive in this environment of stress and tension. And so basically we went over how to restore the body temple, how to maintain and care for the body temple, how to understand the wisdom of the Nubby Ball. Now, that's a conceptual tool taken from Quantum Health Transformation, which is a free online 9-step lifestyle enhancement program that is available on this YouTube channel. There's a playlist called Quantum Health Transformation, and it's also available under the free resources tab of my website. Then we talked about cultivating courage to deprogram and reprogram our minds, because these are our minds. We can program them to suit ourselves, not the mainstream basic belief systems. We can take responsibility for our mental health. We can learn to fully relax and practice that every day. We can physically ground ourselves in nature daily, and we can achieve what is called heart coherence, and we can do that every day. So we actually also had a guided meditation on how to achieve heart coherence that is also posted. So I really encourage everyone to go back, and even if you've already seen them, start watching this series over again, because the reason we're bringing this to you is to help you in your personal evolution. You don't have to go out and do what we say. We're not a cult. There's no place to sign up. This is about your own evolution, but it'll give you some tips to help you get started in the right direction. And Chris, do you have anything to say about the hero's journey or how to stay Zen during these apocalyptic times?
Well, I love the how you put together Zen and Apocalypse, because right now it's definitely it's what you would define as an apocalypse, but it's not what most people think of as a cataclysmic end of the world. Everything's being destroyed. It's more of an awakening and an awareness, and it's something that's sweeping globally. But the Zen part is the hard part. Right now, everyone, of course, first of all, if you're just first waking up to everything and coming around, good morning and welcome to some fun stuff. So there's a lot of people right now that are just coming around to this, and there's fear behind it, there's confusion, they don't know where to start. So I think the most important thing during these times is to have a sense of well-being and not to worry about what's being pushed or the agendas or anything you're hearing on TV, because that's just going to make everything worse. It's going to, make your own anxiety worse and make your health worse and everything else that follows. But what I would encourage people to do is seek the information that resonates with you. Don't seek out fear mongering information that's going to make you afraid, but something that's informative, that things that you need to hear. There's a lot of scary things going on that people need to hear about, but don't live in that fear. Use the information and kind of turn it into something positive. For instance, I cover a lot of topics on my show that are controversial, a lot of things going right now with the whole COVID op, some of the things that are going on around the world that will affect the planet very negatively if we don't do anything about it in the near future, technological advancements that are not in our best interest. But all these things, they have to be put into perspective with first with what you're doing in your life, because you can't change any of that stuff before you get what's going on in your life, and you're afraid and you're living in fear and you don't know what to do. You got to stop for a second and take some steps. And that's where I advise, you look at Karen's transformation program, health transformation program. You look at some of the information in there to help guide you through your personal journey during some of these difficult times that we're going to have. But the largest killer is fear, is being afraid during these times. And if you can lose that, and you can start making that first step. And I find as long as you're taking that first step and it's going into the right direction, that the universe kind of keeps guiding you in that same direction. And follow your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it might not be. I always go with my first gut instincts are usually the correct ones. So it's good to follow your intuition and instincts right now, and keep an open mind, but also don't fall into the conspiratorial mess that is out there right now. Social media is full of these conspiracies that, how some of these, I guess, mainstream media outlets are saying that these are harmful. Well, I agree to a certain extent that some of these conspiracy theories may be harmful if you're looking at it the wrong way, if you're getting the wrong information, but they're still censoring free speech. You should be able to present the information, even if it's batshit crazy information. You should still have the right to be able to put it out there, like we always have, like we've always had free speech. And the danger is coming in when you're silencing those voices, because you may consider it dangerous to you, but it may be good information for somebody else. But you also have to be careful right now. The Another layer on top of that is the misinformation and disinformation agents that are out there intentionally, not your normal Joe going out there putting out conspiracy theories. This is organized factions, we'll say three-letter agencies and beyond, that put out certain theories to get people's hopes up, or to get people thinking a certain way, or to be afraid of something, or to be looking forward to something that's not there. It's just meant to put out confusion and further divide people. So just pay attention to the information and go with what resonates with you, and try not to be afraid right now. That's my best advice for that section.
Mhm. I also wanted to mention that the PDF, or the PDFs that are mentioned and used to display the information on the Forbidden Transformation Show are available from my website under the PDF section. So I just wanted to remind folks about that. Do we have any comments or questions from our viewers, Chris?
Um, Someone's asking, Wendy asked what's going to happen on the 21st. I'm not sure. I haven't heard any, if this is a conspiracy theory or something that's going to happen on the 21st. Have you heard anything about the 21st, Karen?
Yes,
Hey,
not
what's going
much,
on?
but it is the dawning, the very first beginning of entering the age of Aquarius.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And please do watch Forbidden Knowledge News. Chris has some amazing shows that show the incredible links between what we experience in reality and the different horoscope systems or the numerology systems. We're really living in a math-based reality here, and we're very connected to everything. So we're very excited to look forward to the coming of the age of Aquarius. So that's only a couple of weeks away. Now, I find that with shifts in energy and history, there's a bit of an overlap. So you may not see huge things happening in the very beginning that let us know without a shadow of a doubt that things have shifted. It'll start off small and incremental, and it'll grow over time. And during this time, we know the forces that are let's just say, don't have our best interests at heart. They're in their death throes, and so they're going to throw out whatever they can, probably over the next year, even maybe the next couple of years. So it may not all look rosy, but we are definitely on a new track. And as Chris and I talk about, we also believe in the new positive timeline, which we'll talk a little bit more later on in this discussion. So that, Chris, do you know anything about the age of Aquarius?
I don't know much about astrology. I'm learning as I go, but I do know that, we're entering into what's supposed to be a better age and kind of an uprising and uplifting of consciousness and humanity. And that's, exactly what we see happening around the world. So, yes, of course. It's very exciting to enter these times, and you can see with your own eyes and feel what's happening around us. That the change is occurring. So yeah, that is very exciting.
And once we step out of the fear, wow, then we're into the wonder of it all. There's never been a more exciting time to be alive. So I'll just move on to the recap of episode 3, which was Making Contact with Preston Dennett. And in that show, we talked about methods for achieving astral projection and how people can use astral projection to make contact with their guides and other higher beings like interdimensionals, extraterrestrials, ultra terrestrials, and how astral projection can actually free us and heal us from health issues and also the harmful effects of technology, which we call EMF, or electromagnetic frequencies, since the higher consciousness has a profound effect on the physical body. And Chris, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Well, I would love to be able to astral project. I mean, that is every time I have a guest that can do it, even yourself, it's such an amazing experience it seems like it would be such an amazing experience to have. I've had my contact psychic communication experience, but, and it was along with my contact, there was the aspect of it where I was actually consciously taken on what I perceived to be a ship. So I guess in a way that was astral projection. I have not been able to explore it anymore since then. I've still done some meditation, but I have not uh, made any more, I guess, headway into that realm. But it would definitely be something amazing to experience, and I'm something that I know is going to take a lot of practice and discipline to actually be able to achieve that. But I believe 100% that. Right outside the spectrum of our vision and consciousness is a whole other world, and it's more like the real world than we're in now. It's kind of like waking up from a dream, and you get to experience all the aspects of our interdimensional selves and reality, and the possibilities are unlimited. Really, you can do anything, go anywhere you want, and make contact with everything from angels, spirit guides, extraterrestrials, anything that you want to make contact with. And it's an amazing skill to have, and I definitely believe that it is something that everyone can do with discipline. And there is a question here that kind of goes along with somewhat what we are talking about. Um, Wendy also asked if she believes we're living in the Matrix. Now, the way I can answer that is I can just say yes, because I believe that, this is somewhat of a simulated reality. I don't know how it works. I do know that outside of what we consider this physical realm, we have our light bodies or our spirit bodies that seem to be just like in the Matrix, outside of a reality, and we're kind of plugged in, living this experience, um, learning from everything. And when we exit outside of the Matrix, that is the true reality, our true selves. And as far as if it's under some kind of control by AI or extraterrestrials, or we're just some kind of experiment, I don't have the answers to that. But I do know definitely that there is an aspect of this, a holographic aspect of this, a quantum aspect of this, to where, I mean, it's science that we just don't understand yet. And I think we're getting closer to understanding that that reality does exist. And I think it scares the shit out of modern day academia that this stuff is coming out right now. But yeah, it's great. And that's really all I can say about that. I would really love to achieve that myself.